Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here, and finally, now continuing my Summerslam reviews, now I'm going to review number 6 on my list, which is Summerslam 1991. Yeah, I just got done watching the show just a minute ago, and I thought this was a really good show. I think this is really underrated. I think, yeah, this and the next two on my list are three of the most underrated Summerslams of all time. Yeah, but yeah, this was a really good show right here. Alright, well, let me just get started. Yeah, first match of the night was a six-man tag team match. It was the Powers of Glory, the Power and Glory, Paul Roman Hercules, and the Warlord versus the British Bulldog, the Dragon, and Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich. And I thought this was a pretty good match. Yeah, I think this was pretty good for what it was. Yeah. I thought both teams got enough offense in on this match, and yeah, it was just back and forth between both teams, yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, just back and forth between both teams, and yeah, in the end, the Dragon, the British Bulldog, and Kerry Von Erich won. So yeah, it was pretty good. I give it about 3 stars. And then next up we got the Intercontinental Championship match. Mr. Perfect defending against Bret Hart. And this was an absolute classic. Yeah, I said in my 1992 review that Bret Hart vs. Bulldog was one of the best SummerSlam matches in history. I say this is the best match in SummerSlam history. This was a freaking phenomenal classic right here. Yeah, it was a good back and forth between both teams. Both guys, yeah. And there was a lot of good countering in the match. Bret Hart tried a crucifix on Mr. Perfect a couple times in the match. At one point, Mr. Perfect tried to leave. Bret Hart pulled Mr. Perfect back and actually ripped up his attire. Yeah, when Bret Hart tried to go for crucifix, like second time in the match, Mr. Perfect countered it into a Samoan drop or something. Yeah. And yeah, at one point the coach got on the ring apron trying to distract the referee or something, and Bret Hart took him out. Yeah. And I thought the ending of this match was really good. I thought this was a really great way for Bret Hart to win, where Mr. Perfect dropped his leg on Bret Hart, and then Bret Hart just grabbed Mr. Perfect's leg and countered it into a sharpshooter, and Mr. Perfect submitted, and Bret Hart won the Intercontinental title. So yeah, this was a frickin' classic right here. Definite 5-star match right here. This was an absolute classic here. And then next was, oh my god, the Natural Disasters versus the Bushwhackers. Every time I see the Bushwhackers wrestle, I just want to beat my head in. Yeah, I mean, I freaking hate the Bushwhackers, and I really don't even like the Natural Disasters either. I don't like either one of these teams. And yeah, this was just horrible. Yeah, I mean, the Bushwhackers just totally sucked, and yeah, Natural Disasters didn't do too great either. And they were no-selling a lot in the match. Yeah, I mean, this really just sucked. Yeah, and I really didn't think this was believable. I really think that the Natural Disasters would just take out the Bushwhackers within 90 seconds. Yeah, and this just sucked. It sucked a lot. Yeah, Natural Disasters won. Yeah. And then afterwards, they tried to go after Andre the Giant, but then the Legion of Doom came out and stopped Natural Disasters from doing it. So yeah, that was freaking horrible. I give that, I don't know, half a star. I might even be generous with that. And then next up was the $1 Million Championship match. Ted DiBiase defending against Virgil. Yeah, I thought this was pretty good here. Yeah, I thought Virgil looked really good in this match. Yeah, and yeah, this was pretty good, as I said. Yeah. I kind of thought, though, that Virgil kind of gotten a little bit too much offense in on this match. Kind of made Ted DiBiase look a little bit weak. But yeah, still a good match. yeah. One point, Virgil got the $1 million Dream in on Ted DiBiase, and then Sherry came in and nailed Virgil with her purse. The referee didn't call for the bell. Thought that Ted DiBiase got disqualified, but then Sherry just got banned from ringside. But I didn't like the way this match ended at all. I thought this was very John Cena style finish. I mean, Ted DiBiase, he got like 3 suplexes in on Virgil, and then a pile driver. And then he was gonna throw Virgil's face into the exposed steel of the turnbuckle. Then Virgil stopped him and just threw Ted DiBiase's face in the turnbuckle, and then Virgil wins. Yeah, so I didn't really like that. I thought that was a really anticlimactic finish. But yeah, still a good match. 3 1/4. And then, after this, next was the Jailhouse Match. The Big Boss Man versus the Mountie. And the stipulation for this match was the loser would spend the night in jail. Yeah, I thought this was enjoyable. Yeah, for the first few minutes of the match, the Big Boss Man was dominating. And then, while he was trying to go after Jimmy Hart, then the Mountie attacked the Big Boss Man, and then the Mountie was in control. Yeah. At one point, Big Boss Man actually was able to slide under the Mountie's legs. I was actually surprised by that. Yeah. And at one point, the Mountie tried to zap the Big Boss Man, but the Big Boss Man moved out of the way. Yeah, and at one point it took the Mountie like 3 attempts to pile drive the Big Boss Man, and he did it on the 3rd attempt. And then at the end of this match, the Mountie tried to go for another pile driver on the Big Boss Man, but the Big Boss Man countered it and picked up the Mountie over his head and gave him just a huge spinebuster and pinned the Mountie. And then throughout the night we saw the Mountie, he going to jail. Yeah, we first saw him in the paddy wagon traveling off to jail, and then later on we saw him arriving in jail, and then we saw like him getting his picture taken, getting fingerprinted, put in his cell, and then we later on saw him with his cellmates. Yeah, it was a good match. I'd say I give it about 3 stars. Then after this we got the Tag Team Championship match in a street fight. The Nasty Boys defending against the Legion of Doom. Yeah, I thought this was pretty good too. It was really short though. I mean, it was only like 8 minutes. Yeah, but I thought it was good for the 8 minutes that lasted. Yeah, Hawk was the legal guy for the first several minutes in the match. Yeah, and pretty much the Nasty Boys were doing whatever they could just to gang up on Hawk. Yeah. And then, yeah, Animal kept trying to get involved in the match. Yeah. At one point, the Nasty Boys tried to hit, I think it was one of the members of the Legion of Doom with a helmet, but they ducked out of the way. But, yeah, Jerry Sag stopped before he could hit Brian Knobs. Yeah. Then on the outside of the ring, the Mountie, sorry. Yeah, I think Hawk nailed Brian Knobs with the helmet. Yeah, and then at the end of the match, the Legion of Doom won after Animal, or was it Hawk? Yeah. They got, like, Jerry sagged on their shoulders and came from the turnbuckle with a clothesline and then pinned them. And the Legion of Doom won the tag team titles. So yeah, it was a good match, I guess. I give it about 3 stars. And then next up was IRS versus Great Hammer Valentine. This was pretty much just a filler match, yeah. It really only lasted about 7 minutes, yeah. I mean, yeah. Greg Valentine was doing a lot of Ric Flair style wrestling, and IRS was just doing whatever the heck he could do. Yeah, pretty much, yeah, nothing really to talk about here. Just, yeah, at the end of this match, Greg Valentine tried to go for a figure 4 on IRS, but IRS was able to roll up Greg Valentine for the win. It's kind of like how Savage did it at WrestleMania 4. But yeah, and IRS won the match. So yeah, yeah, not really too much to say about that. I give that 2 1/4. And then we got the main event, and in a handicap match, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, and General Adnan, with Sid Justice as the guest referee. Yeah, I thought this was just fine for what it was. Yeah, I think this is a really underrated main event. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was just fine for what it was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was legal for most of the match. Yeah, and Hogan and Warrior kept tagging in a lot in the match. Yeah, Sid was making sure there would be no crap going on in the match. Yeah, he made sure no one was disobeying the rules ever. Yeah. On a couple of occasions, Hogan and Warrior were getting Irish whipped into Sid in the match. Yeah. Yeah, and Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan, they didn't really do too much in the match. I mean, they just kept coming in when they weren't legal and attacking Hogan and Warrior, or trying to at least. Yeah, pretty much the only thing Colonel Mustafa did was the camel clutch in the match, because, yeah, Colonel Mustafa, the Iron Sheik. Yeah. Yeah, and General Adnan really didn't do much in the match, yeah. Yeah, so there's not really too much to say, but yeah, it was fine for what it was, like I said, yeah. And at one point, it looked like Sergeant Slaughter was trying to go at it with Sid. Yeah. And then at the end of this match, like, Warrior chased Colonel Mustafa and General Adnan to the back, and then Hogan threw, I think, was powder in Sergeant Slaughter's eyes. And yeah, got a leg drop and pinned him. Yeah, and then afterwards, Hogan and Sid celebrating the ring together. So yeah, that was fine for what it was, I guess. I give it about 3.5 stars. Yeah. And then the show ended with Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth's wedding. Yeah, I think this is the closest WWE has ever gotten to actually being like an actual wedding. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was a best man, there was a bridesmaid, there was a ring bearer, there was a flower girl. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, this was really short. They showed like a really lengthy video package of like some kind of love video or something. Yeah, I thought that was just kind of dragging on. I thought that was unnecessary. Yeah. Yeah, not really too much to say. It was just kind of, yeah, the Padre was asking them if they take each other to be man and wife, and they were saying yes. And then they were giving each other vows, and then, yeah, they were pronounced husband and wife. And then they celebrated in the ring. So, yeah, I thought it was just fine for, yeah, I thought it was just fine for what it was, yeah. Yeah, it was good for a wedding by WWF or WWE, yeah. It's not like weddings we see on Raw where every single wedding ends in disaster. Yeah, I mean, this actually had a proper ending to it. So yeah. Yeah, this was just fine. Yeah. Overall show, I give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it had a classic match, which is the best match in SummerSlam history. Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart. Yeah. And the rest of the card, for the most part, was pretty good too. Alright. So yeah, that's it for my SummerSlam 1991 review. Finally coming after over like 2 weeks. Yeah. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.